Chapter 9. Patterns in Iron. The valley waited in a silence that felt stretched thin. The damaged section of timber had been reinforced through the night. Fresh beams were driven horizontally across the fracture, packed tight with earth and stone. The air smelled of split wood and damp soil. Fires were shielded low, their light kept from spilling beyond the ridges. Rhydan remained near the western barrier, watching the tree line where Roman torches had burned steadily since their withdrawal. He did not know the word Roman yet. He only knew they were different. The older man and the tall warrior stood nearby, speaking in hushed, urgent tones. Rhydan listened carefully, as he had begun doing whenever they spoke. He had learned that repetition mattered. Certain sounds returned again and again when they gestured toward the forest. One word surfaced more than the others. Roman. The older man pointed toward the distant lights as he said it. Roman. He struck his chest when speaking of their own people, then gestured outward sharply when speaking the word again. Rhydan nodded slowly. Enemy. He did not understand the sound yet, but he understood the division. A horn call rolled out from the forest. It was measured and precise, carrying farther than it seemed it should. The tribe stiffened along the barrier. Movement emerged between the trees. Lines, ordered. Shields reflecting faint firelight as they advanced in deliberate coordination. Rhydan studied them with intense focus. His mind did not react with fear first. It analyzed. Distance between soldiers, uniform. Shield height, standardized. Stride length, matched. They were not individuals fighting side by side. They were components in a single moving structure. A voice rang out from their front. The words were unfamiliar, hard-edged syllables delivered with clipped authority. Rhydan did not understand them, but he watched what followed. At the command, the front line shifted in unison. Shields lifted and angled, overlapping with near-perfect precision. A layered shell formed over the advancing ranks. Protection. The word formed in his own mind before he could attach language to it. Another command followed. Rear ranks adjusted spacing by half a pace. The formation compressed, reinforcing its forward face. Rhydan began mapping sound to movement. First word, raise shields. Second word, tighten formation. He whispered the syllables under his breath, testing their rhythm. The Roman line advanced. Arrows launched from behind their shielded front, arcing toward the valley. The first volley struck timber and earth with heavy thuds. A defender cried out as a shaft pierced his thigh. The tall warrior barked orders, archers responded. The tribe's arrows fell against the Roman shields in scattered rhythm. Some found gaps, most did not. Rhydan's gaze drifted automatically toward the ground slope. He did not need memory to understand pressure and leverage. He saw the dip in the earth near the left side of the barrier, saw the way the timber rested less securely there. The Roman formation adjusted slightly in that direction. They had seen it too. A new structure rolled forward under layered shields. Timber beams bound together around a suspended core. Rhydan did not know its name, but he understood its purpose instantly. Impact. The device swung. The timber wall shuddered under the blow. Again. The same command word preceded each strike. He listened carefully this time. Per-ku-te. The sound matched the action. Strike. He repeated it softly to himself. Percute. Strike. He was not remembering. He was learning. The ram struck again, precisely timed to the rhythm of command. Rhydan stepped toward the weakened section, examining the way the beam flexed under force. The defenders beside him were reinforcing vertically again, instinctively bracing upward. He shook his head sharply and pushed one of the beams down. He mimed the impact motion, then rotated the log horizontally across the fracture. "Here," he said, using the tribe's word for place that he had learned 2 nights before. "Here." They understood the urgency, if not the reasoning. They obeyed. The next strike landed. The reinforced beam held. Outside, the Roman line adjusted formation immediately, splitting a unit to test the adjacent section of wall. Rhydan watched, breath steady. They were not reacting emotionally. They were running a sequence: test, measure, apply, adapt. His mind followed the pattern instinctively, calculating the next likely shift. If resistance strengthened here, they would distribute pressure across multiple points to stretch defenders thin. He pointed toward the right flank, then gestured pulling motion, trying to communicate thinning the line deliberately. The tall warrior studied him for a fraction of a second before shouting commands. Several defenders shifted positions. From the Roman side, another command sounded. 2 ranks broke off and advanced toward the newly thinned section, shields angled aggressively. They had taken the bait. Hidden archers within the valley rose from behind the inner embankment and loosed at near range. Several Roman soldiers fell before shields could reorient. The formation faltered briefly. Not broken, but disrupted. Rhydan felt a sharp, electric clarity in that moment. Not triumph, recognition. Systems could be manipulated. Another horn call sounded. Different tone this time. The Roman line withdrew in deliberate sequence, retrieving fallen soldiers with the same efficiency they had advanced. They retreated beyond arrow range and reformed near the tree line. The valley still stood. Rhydan watched them reorganize, noting how quickly they re-established symmetry. Already new frames were being assembled behind the lines, taller than before. The older man approached him slowly. "Roman," he said again, pointing toward the forest. Rhydan nodded. "Roman," he repeated carefully, shaping the unfamiliar sound with growing precision. He did not know their history. He did not know their empire. He did not know their language beyond fragments tied to action. But he understood structure. He understood force distribution. He understood pattern escalation. And as he watched the silhouettes of rising siege frames darken against the horizon, a quiet certainty settled within him. The next assault would not test the wall. It would test the valley itself. He turned to the tall warrior and spoke in halting but clearer fragments of the tribe's language. "They change," he said, gesturing outward. "Next time, bigger." The warrior's expression hardened. Beyond the ridge, the Romans continued building in silence, and Rhydan continued listening, learning. There is always a story to be told out here in the frontier, as long as there is someone to listen, like, and subscribe, and join us again for more.